Hey guys, how are you? I hope all is well. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but if you saw my last YouTube video, you'd know why. So we're getting right into it. Today, we have a new topic for you guys. Yes, a new topic because we have to get into this. And ladies, this episode is really going to be for us. We're going to get into lying. Yes, lying, and not men lying to us, but more so us lying to each other. In the sense of telling each other stories or making up excuses for men when they don't deserve one, that be out dating, in a relationship, or anything like that. We paint this picture that can in fact be true, but can also be a lie. And I'm saying this with love. From women to women, we've got to be more honest with each other. And yeah, some of us might not like the truth, but the reality is we have to listen and we have to take it for what it is. But at the end of the day, who the fuck cares? Because the truth is better than a lie, in my opinion. I prefer honesty before someone feeds me some bullshit or some hypotheticals and all that nonsense. Have you guys ever seen the movie that He's Just Not Into You? One, it's a book, and two, it's also a movie. One of my favorites, just letting you guys know. And if you have seen the movie, there is a part in the movie where women are literally hanging out, talking about why they haven't heard from a guy or why that guy hasn't reached out. And then their friends are just coming up with all these excuses and bullshit stories that would make their friend feel better, essentially. Excuses can be an endless amount of shit. There's no limit to what an excuse can actually be. From the typical, oh, maybe he's too busy or he's too tired from work, to the maybe he's got something going on with his family and he hasn't been able to keep in touch with you because of it. Or a good one is maybe he's just giving you your space and he wants you to reach out to him. Last but not least, he's just intimidated by you because you're an independent woman and you have your shit together. And if some of these excuses are in fact true, big emphasis on the if, let's call it like it is. Our girlfriends are just feeding us that bullshit so we don't get hurt in the end, because the truth is that guy's probably not that into you. Clearly, as a girlfriend, we obviously don't want to hurt our friends or want them to get all butthurt about it. But at the end of the day, honesty is always going to be the best policy, no matter what. So because of it, we cover up the true thoughts that we have with a lie or an excuse for this man so our friends feel better about it. Instead of just being straight up and saying, hey sis, he's not that into you, and that's what it is. And ladies, let's not play dumb here, because you know damn well if he wanted to, he would. It's that simple. Point blank, period. Sometimes I just don't understand how some women honestly don't see that. And I get it. Sometimes we get blindsided by the charm that the man puts on, especially on our first date. Like I've always said, everybody puts their best foot forward. But we also know that a man that actually wants you will actually pursue you. You don't need to pull his arm, fight for his attention, be in competition with anyone else. If he knows that you're someone he wants, he will go after you and chase that ass, girl. But back to what I was saying, why do we lie to each other, ladies? Why? I always ask myself this, because me personally, I prefer the truth, so just don't lie to me. If a man don't like me and I told you the story, tell me what's in your head. I want to know your thoughts. And I get it. Like I mentioned before, we don't want to hurt each other's feelings. We want to have our friend feel good about themselves, that, oh, this guy is worthless and like he doesn't know what he's got. And that's in fact true, because obviously a guy who's not going to pursue your girlfriends or anything, you know that they're worthy of a good guy and like a good relationship and all of that shit. But like I mentioned before, we don't want to see them hurt. And I get it, sometimes we want to make it seem like things are all peachy and things are going just fine, when in reality, it's not peachy and nice and all these roses and whatever that makes it a nice little fairy tale. And here's a sad reality though, because I was reading a study that said women actually lie twice as more than men do. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will. And maybe we can sit here and bullshit ourselves and say, oh, we lie, or we say a white lie because we're just nicer, or because we don't want to hurt her feelings or their feelings, or whatever the case is. But then why get mad when somebody tells you a lie or tells you a white lie? They do it because they don't want to hurt your feelings, right? Because that's the reason why us women do it as well. I'm sure some of you will argue like, oh, it's different, etc., but it's really not. Ladies, we literally come up with excuses for men all the time. I don't know why we do it, but we do. And one of the things that I take into account is, regardless if it's a healthy or an unhealthy relationship, is the amount of excuses that are presented to you in that relationship. The worst excuses being the ones that you deny, you rationalize, you minimize, and then you're out here actually trying to find excuses for the actual excuse that you've come up with, which then shows how poor that excuse was, that you felt the need to justify it. And listen, people often get excuses and reasons mixed up, so let's break it down a bit. Excuses allow people to pretty much remain in that uncomfortable comfort zone, I guess you can say, by avoiding conflict and honesty with others and themselves and yourself. An example that I've heard women use to one another is just, he's too busy, as in why they haven't heard from him. And sure, we're all busy, no? But is that really a good, valid excuse to be giving your girlfriend, your close friend, your best friend, whatever the hell you want to call your girls? Is that really an excuse you want to give them? Because for me, it's not. Because I feel like you leave this underlying hope for this girl, and she might now hold on to that in hopes that maybe this man will reach out to her later on because he's just busy. When in fact, that excuse is as lame as they because honestly, no man is so damn busy that he doesn't have 10 seconds to send you a text saying, hey, how are you? Or, hey, have a great day. I'll talk to you later. It's just not a thing. As busy as I am, if I'm interested, I'm going to make that effort because it's literally a 10-second text. And the way technology is, there's no excuse as to why you can't send out a message. To me, excuses aren't real reasons, they're bullshit ones. The next time you hear an excuse be made, you gotta ask yourself, so what's the point of the excuse? What's the meaning behind it? And what is gonna happen next? So ladies, why do we bother lying to our girls and let alone lie to ourselves? Because let's call it like it is and let's get real. Chances are that guy didn't lose your number, and chances are he's not that busy. But don't give up hope, ladies. As much as the dating scene can be shitty sometimes, I know for myself, I try not to give up on it, although some men really do make it easy for us to want to do that. So I actually want to get into some of these lies and the nonsense that we tell one another. The first one being the lie of, he probably lost your number. It's such a lame ass excuse. The truth is that man did not lose your number, but so what? Who cares, you know? Instead of personalizing the fact that he didn't call you and you fall down this little hole of allowing yourself to feel like you can get in your own head of feeling like you're not worthy enough, or you weren't pretty enough, you weren't skinny enough, you weren't smart enough for this man, you didn't keep up an intellectual conversation, whatever it is, just think of it as that you just weren't the right fit for him. And that's okay. So don't ever put yourself down for no man, because you just might not be his cup of tea, but you will be someone's gray. Another lie we tell ourselves is that having sex will make us closer. You and that guy, or your friend and the guy, supposedly it'll make you closer. In reality, it will make the woman closer, not so much the men. The truth is, sex and love are not linked in a man's mind. So don't sit there and assume that getting in bed with this guy will strengthen the relationship. So ladies, stop telling your girlfriends that getting into bed with a guy will make the connection stronger, because in fact that is not true. I mean, it could be, you know, there's always the exception to the rule, but ultimately for me, it's a load of shit. Sorry. And here's a really big one. What I mentioned before is that he's intimidated by you. I hear this one so much, and what's mortifying for me is that so many women fall for it and so many women believe that. Because ladies, it is not true. Sometimes I'm sure we would prefer that to be the truth instead of saying he's just not that into you, because saying he's intimidated by you is probably more palatable for women. But just know, like I said, a man that wants you will go after you, girlfriend. Another good excuse or lie, whatever you want to call it, is we tell each other that it doesn't matter what day he wants to see you in the week. All that matters is that he wants to see you. And you may not want to believe this, but I feel like it is low-key important, the days that he does want to see you. Because I feel like if he's not seeing you on a Saturday, he's probably seeing someone else or looking for someone else that he would prefer to see on a Saturday. And I only say this because Saturdays, I feel like, or the weekend in general, are basically a man's prime time, hunting time to be out on the prowl. It sounds so fucked up to say it like that, but I feel like Saturday nights are for the boys, are really for the boys to find the lady that they find interesting. The next one I want to get into is when women make the excuse of, oh, maybe you just slept with him too early, so maybe he lost respect for you. No, because as women, we need to stop doubting and blaming ourselves whenever a man gets in our pants and then walks out of our lives. That is not on us. That is on them. It shouldn't be on you and how you feel about that or how your friends feel about that. If it felt right at the moment, it is what it is. And furthermore, women really need to stop shaming the women who felt ready at the moment to have sex with that guy that they caught feelings for or cared for them. If he dips on you after sex, you should be the one losing respect for him. Don't think of it the other way around. Because a grown man and a mature man won't sit there and judge you or put it against you because his ass participated with you, okay? Another shit that we tell ourselves as women, and it's a damn lie, and sometimes I'm guilty of it too, is that we say all the good men are taken. The truth is, after a shit ton of disastrous dates, we as women feel like there's not a single decent guy out there for us left on this planet. In reality, there's probably thousands of men out there that are willing to share your values and share your love for rom-coms, chick flicks, and even that occasional Netflix binge with you. I feel like once you change your mindset on that, you probably get one step closer to finding your future hubby. You never know. Another big one that I hear women say to themselves as a lie or an excuse is that they're incomplete without a man in their life. And if you're listening to my podcast, no ma'am, we are not saying that here. Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, I see it as we're all complete on our own. And because we are complete on our own, we can sit here and appreciate our friends, our career, our family. We can walk around confident knowing what we have to offer, which in sense will attract a quality man that you'll want to share life with. So don't get hung up on this idea that you need a man to complete you in your life. So at the end of the day, let's cut this shit and be honest with one another, ladies. There's no need to lie to each other, let alone ourselves. Let alone for things that are not okay. Especially if you heard this excuse coming out of somebody else's mouth. Come on. You know yourself and you know you wouldn't believe it if it was being told to someone else across the room from you or if you overheard it. So at the end of the day, let's just keep it 100, people, because no one's gonna be honest with you unless you start being honest with them. And honestly, I appreciate having the realness come out on people instead of people feeding me bullshit. Because there have been so many times where I've had friends give me an excuse, but because I was just holding on to this hope or whatever, I'd fall for it. And I'd hold on to these words like, oh yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe I just got to give them a little bit more time, or whatever the case was. At the end of the day, no. It's a no. Let's just keep it 100. He's just not that into you, it seems like, and that's it. Anyways, as always, thank you guys for tuning in and listening, and I will see you guys on the next one. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. That would be nice. And thank you guys again for understanding. I haven't been making my episodes the last 2 weekends, the last 2 Sundays, because of things going on. And if you want to know what happened, I posted like an update video on my YouTube, and you guys can find out there. But anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.